and welcome to the David Tomsic Show, fighting tyranny one day at a time. Well, Elon Musk and his merry band of geniuses are at it again. This time they fired park rangers, park service personnel, okay? Now, I looked this up. The national park budget is about $3.6 billion. It's a lot of national parks. And they bring in $55 billion. So why on earth were these people targeted, 1,000 or more? Now, the caveat to this is that the Park Service says they may be bringing some of them back. I don't know. They also said that they would hire 7,700 part-timers, temporary people for the summer. I think they do that anyway. But the point is, the Park Service, the park rangers. My understanding is that, yeah, Smokey the Bear might be on the way out as well. Now, I don't know what they pay Smokey, but let's face it, we don't need someone to worry about forest fires because that's fake news. Of course, with the Trump administration, what isn't fake news? How about the CDC fighting diseases like polio, bird flu? All these things, they're designed and built to help us, to protect us from. That's fake news. We need to cut that. How about air traffic controllers? Oh, my Lord, why do you need air traffic controllers? Pilots can land these planes by themselves. These airports aren't that busy. Get with it. We don't need all these extra people. And we shouldn't forget the Nuclear Regulatory Agency. Who needs people to inspect nuclear plants? No problem there. And how about someone monitoring our environmental laws? Oh, we don't need those laws. Get rid of all those people. Let those companies dig and drill wherever they want. Pollution's not an issue here. Well, I have to disagree with this whole line of thinking, as I do pretty much every day here. And you probably heard me rant. I have an article, and it's just one article, so bear with me, and then I'll give you my opinion. Now, this article comes from The Independent. It's from a guy named Richard Hall. He says, Rangers panic as Elon Musk's job cuts remove vital services in national parks. No big deal, right? When Alex Wild found out that he and hundreds of his fellow national park rangers were being fired, he worried about paying his bills, his career, and his colleagues, but mostly about Yosemite's alpine meadows. I'm legitimately concerned about people just ripping their Jeeps around the meadow because they feel like there's no one to do anything about it, he tells The Independent. And maybe there won't be, he adds. Following the abrupt firing of some 1,000 National Park Service employees by the Trump administration last week, rangers like Wild are raising the alarm about the impact the cuts will have on America's 63 beloved national parks. This is a lot of acreage. I didn't look up the number of acres that are in our national parks. Let me tell you, it's a lot. Now the article goes on. It's not just the meadows he's worried about. Long lines that are already forming at park entrances because rangers who sell tickets have been let go. Garbage won't be picked up. Tours will be canceled. Campgrounds will be closed. The abandoned wildlife, hikers lost because no ranger was there to guide them, and lives at risk as rescue teams are cut back. He went on to say, we do so much work protecting the place, and that's the sort of stuff that is going to get dropped. Wild 35 says, as a ranger, that's the part that gets me fired up. That's my passion, and it breaks my heart to think about what's going to happen to the parks. Some of these problems are already hitting the parks, but they are expected to worsen during the summer season when more than 100 million people typically visit. Protecting the wildlife and resources in the federally owned parks is a big part of rangers' work, but they also are there to protect the public. He now believes national parks are about to become more chaotic and potentially more dangerous. And here's the biggest point made in this article to me. Wild was the only emergency medical technician at Devil's Postpile before he was fired on February 14th. In other parks, rescue teams are being cut back. Now, when you're running some type of program or agency, you have to understand that people come first. With park rangers, people come first. The environment comes first. Wildlife comes first. They're there to protect, to serve. If you're out hiking and you get lost or you get hurt, you're going to expect a park ranger to help you. If you find out that animals are being abused or being poached, park rangers are there to stop it. When the environment's being accosted and fires are set, it's the park rangers who are there first. In the real world, whether you're working for a nonprofit agency or a for-profit business, you still need to manage. It's important to have people. It's important to have the right people in the right positions. Park rangers are needed. None should have been cut, as far as I'm concerned. They were already understaffed for the size and scope of their tasks. We live in a massive, massive country with massive national parks. People get lost. People get hurt. Wildlife can be poached. Fires can start. The park rangers are your front line of defense. Just like in towns where I live, our firefighters and police are needed to be the front line of any disaster or problem, whether fire or emergency. You want those people standing on that wall. You don't want to thin it out. You don't want to spread it farther away where problems can seep through the cracks that'll reach you and your family. Once again, this is a feel-good project. MAGA people love seeing people laid off. They love to sit back and after it's done, they light a cigarette and they just bask in it because they had it all in hand. These people are all gone. All these people that are using our money, we might get a rebate check. Do you really want a rebate check based on the loss of somebody else's job? Is that what you want? It'll make you feel good, won't it? Listen, I've said this in 3 of my last videos. When you want to cut back, you first audit. You take your time. Do you know, under the Obama administration, they wanted to fix things as well. They did. Some of the people that worked for him said the bureaucracy was big. It was cumbersome. What probably should have happened here is you audit, you review, you upgrade technology because the government hasn't upgraded their technology in a lot of ways on those levels. That's what you do. You just don't randomly fire people and butcher people. See, because the idea was to make people think they were doing something. He was going to do what he promised, right or wrong. Too many people are okay with it. Too many people have been lied to and indoctrinated into the world of the right-wing crazies that believe everybody's out to get them, that without the right-wing people, this world would collapse, that we got to do it our way or it's the highway. Well, in the real world, Donald Trump wasn't able to do it either way. He's a failed businessman, and now he's a failed president. People are beginning to turn on him. You can look at his poll numbers. That's because he makes bad decision after bad decision. Well, I hope this helps you out understanding a little bit about park rangers. I'm believing that maybe we can get Bigfoot involved. Since a lot of these park ranger stations will be unoccupied, Bigfoot can take over monitoring the parks. I think people would listen to Bigfoot, and maybe they can get him cheap. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, who's going to be left anywhere in the federal government when Donald Trump and Elon Musk are done? Hopefully, someone will answer the phone when you call. But I wouldn't hold my breath on it. It's all the time I have. God bless you. Jesus is still Lord. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. We really need you to like, subscribe, and share with as many people as you can. And don't forget, we'll be here again tomorrow, right here on the David Tomsic Show. Bigfoot. Oh, here it is. Bigfoot. My man.